Guys, it's storytelling time. This one falls in the tragedy genre, not quite to Shakespearean levels as the dramatization might suggest, but it's still pretty rough. We're talking about the roughly 2 years of recent history surrounding the Chase Inc. business cards. During this time, the cards themselves haven't actually gotten nerfed in terms of their benefits going away or their annual fees being raised. Rather, we'll be talking more about their evolution in terms of referrals and approval odds. No, fret not. Not all is doom and gloom. There are still ways to position yourself for multiple ink cards where you can enjoy their benefits, multipliers, and welcome offers. We'll get into those later in the video, so stay tuned, and if you find yourself getting value, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Let's start in the summer of 2023. 4 ink cards, as we still have today, with the $95 ink preferred having the spend requirement on its welcome offer lowered big time from $15,000 to $8,000, with no change to the offer itself at 100,000 chase points. Both the no annual fee Ink Cash and Ink Unlimited cards also recently had all-time high offers of 90,000 chase points, which we have seen periodically since then, and thankfully I still expect that we'll see in the future. The eligibility conditions for the welcome offers were also amongst the least restrictive compared to other families of chase cards. Many other Chase business cards only allow you to get another welcome offer on the same card under the same business at least 24 months after the previous welcome offer. Per some anecdotal evidence via online data points and research, it was long believed that this 24-month rule surrounding the welcome offers was an unofficial one on the Chase Inc. cards. However, by the summer of 2023, there were enough alternative and more recent data points that countered this notion. Case in point, my wife got her first Ink Unlimited card in summer of 2023 and then got a second Ink Unlimited with the welcome offer in November 2024 while applying under the same business. The relative ease of getting multiple ink cards and thus racking up a lot of chase points very quickly coined the term the Chase Ink train. A train that welcomed people with all types of businesses and one that ran non-stop for long stretches if you chose to stay aboard. A big reason that people got on and stayed on the Ink train was the referral program. For more than a year since summer of 2023, each time you referred somebody and they got approved for any one of the 4 ink cards, you would receive 40,000 chase points. You could do so 5 times a year and earn the annual maximum of 200,000 chase points. This worked so well in 2-player mode where you and say your partner could refer each other back and forth to the ink cards, and each time you did it, you earned 40,000 points. 90,000 points from an elevated Ink Unlimited offer, 40,000 referrals, 130,000 in total. That's enough for a round-trip business class to Europe. But the downfall started in September of 2024, where 40,000 points for each referral was slashed to 20,000 points. For most people, this was a big hit to their referral bonuses, but for the few people who could generate 10 or more referrals in a year, it didn't affect them at all because the annual maximum was still kept at 200,000 points. That changed at the start of 2025 when the annual maximum was also slashed by half to 100,000 points. Okay, but at least referrals are still a thing. Some banks don't even have referral programs, and other banks like Capital One only allow for referrals to a brand new customer to Capital One. Capital One, this is Chase. I see you, and I'll match you. Effective October 7, 2025, you will be eligible to receive referral bonus awards for new Chase Business Card customers only. Referrals of individuals with existing Chase Business Card accounts will no longer qualify for the referral bonus. How restrictive this ends up being probably won't be clear until October 7th. For example, can you earn a bonus when you refer somebody who currently doesn't have an ink card but previously did? Will Chase restrict individuals applying under a different business as well? The extent of the bummer is unclear, but it is no doubt a bummer, one that will cause an extreme slowdown to the Chase Inc. train. We can only hope that the referral programs for other families of Chase business cards and personal cards won't get similarly nerfed. That's the extent of the known downfall for the Chase Inc. cards, but we're not quite done yet. We need to talk about some reports that were shared on November 2024 suggesting that Chase is tightening up on approvals. Based on a sample size of roughly 300 people, there is a noticeable trend where the rate of survey participants getting approved for a new ink card goes down the more ink cards they already have open. So, is this the end? Are we at a point where we can get maximum 3 ink cards after which we're completely locked out? As clear as the trend is, we can't disregard potential limitations to the results, in that the sample size is relatively small, the data points are anecdotal and may not be completely trustworthy, and the sample of participants itself may be biased. Also, even if Chase indeed tightened up on approvals from late 2024 until now, there's no saying that they won't loosen them up later in the future. All issuers of financial products, not just Chase, can and will change their underwriting criteria in order to target certain customers or turn away certain customers, and also just in response to changing business times. For example, there were several reports at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic suggesting a tightening of approvals on the ink cards due to economic uncertainty, but as business started reopening, those approvals started to loosen up and people started to get their cards. Indeed, approval odds can ebb and flow over time, though I've seen a bit of a worrying trend that has occurred more recently. On its lineup of personal Sapphire cards, Chase has introduced pop-up jail and has generally increased the restrictiveness on which you can hit multiple welcome offers on Sapphire cards. It may be a reality where credit card optimizers find it harder and harder to get approved for multiple Chase cards, including the ink cards. These are, after all, the folks that would generally open multiple Chase cards in a shorter period of time, so the question becomes, is it the end for them? Honestly, probably not, though. To best ensure that you don't see the dreaded denial on your second, third, or fourth ink applications, what can you do? Obviously, a good credit score will go some ways, though a detailed discussion on this topic is a video for another day. Based on analysis from the recent survey, things that are likely to benefit your approval odds include having an open Chase business deposit account and avoiding large balances being kept on your existing cards. These are commonly accepted as general best practices, so worth considering. Even if you're taking advantage of a 0% APR offer on an existing card, you may want to pay it off a bit more if you're chasing a new ink card. Also, lowering the credit limit on your existing card as you're preparing for a new ink application seems to negatively impact your approval odds. This isn't intuitive, as Chase has been more likely to decline your new card application if you already have a large enough credit limit across your existing cards. What I'd recommend is to simply leave your existing credit limits alone as you're preparing for a new application. If you don't get an instant approval on your ink card and you later learn that it's because your overall limits on your existing cards is too high, well, then you can just do something about it later as part of your reconsideration. Otherwise, just make sure that you're under Chase 524 and, well, go for it. What do you guys think about all the recent developments with the Chase ink cards? Do you think there's still fuel for the ink train to chug along, or do you think that this is truly the end? Let me and everyone else know below in the comments. One thing that I always loved about the welcome offers on the Ink Cash and Ink Unlimited cards was, well, of course, the Chase points, but also the introductory 0% APR offers. Used carefully, it's an additional way to put some extra money back in your pocket. To hear more about the ins and outs of the 0% APR strategy, check out this video on screen. Here's your card nerd signing off, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.